and find out how they're holding up during the pandemic. And we thought maybe this was going to be a short-lived show, but the pandemic turns out that it's not going to be a short-lived thing, so we're just still doing it. And today we have Katie Nguyen. She is a Portland-based comedian, writer, and educator. Her work's been in the New Yorker, and she's a regular at Helium Comedy Club, which is the cool comedy club, and she teaches high school Spanish language arts. Hello, Katie.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks so much for joining us. So we were just talking about Spanish language arts. That is like, at first I was like, oh, Spanish teacher, I know that. And then I was like, oh, wait, a high school Spanish language arts teacher. Can you explain that?
Right. So I teach Spanish, a couple classes of Spanish as a world language, which is more about language acquisition, learning the language if you don't already speak it or understand it. And Spanish language arts is like an English language arts class, but in Spanish. So we read articles and books and poetry and write short stories and poetry, have Socratic seminars in Spanish. Most of the students are native speakers. So it's we study a lot of heritage and identity and issues like that.
That's cool. What are you allowed to tell me what school that is?
Yeah, I'm up at Roosevelt in North Portland.
Oh, okay, cool.
St. John's, yeah.
Nice. So I guess, well, you're a comedian and we'll talk about comedy, but of course the thing that everyone's wondering is like, what is school going to even be? Like, how are you going to be teaching Spanish language arts in the fall?
That is a question. So we recently found out that at the very, very least, we won't have any in-person classes until November 5th. Obviously, that could be extended. Not sure how likely that is. I wouldn't be surprised. It's really challenging. A lot of people have brought up about the fact that distance learning surfaces a lot of equity issues, like a lot.
Right.
So, and it's not just technology based. I mean, a lot of people think like, oh, well, if we can get them internet capable devices and Wi-Fi, then they'll be fine. Right. But I mean, that's not taking into account a lot of other supports that we give. I mean, kids don't come to school and do all their classes in a computer lab. That's not really what it is. So, I mean, there's a lot of challenges in supporting students who need it most, but I mean, all students need the social interaction. They need, one of the biggest losses in my mind in terms of having to do online distance is kind of how when you're an adolescent, you're figuring out different sides of your personality, right? Who are you at work? Who are you with your family? Who are you, on the bus? Who are you in this class? Who are you in this class? Just based on the different environments that we find ourselves in and the people we're surrounded with, but all of a sudden we're all in one environment with one set of people. So a lot of like exploration of identity and figuring out who you are and trying on different, aspects of personality and mannerisms and like, taste and that kind of thing. It's really limited right now. So,
yeah. I know it's crazy to think of like all of the things. I don't know about your high school experience, but I would say like 100% of the things I remember from high school are just things that happened, interactions with people that have, like not, we didn't even have the internet, we did, but we barely had the internet. But like, I just can't even imagine how this school year is going to be for kids. And every, when you're a kid, like every single year is so important. It's not like for maybe some of us adults who are like, whatever, it's a couple months, who cares? But like when you're, this is what I was actually thinking. When I was, a freshman, I had this boyfriend. I went on a trip with my family for like a month and then of course broke up with him. But before, I was like deeply in love with this boy. And even for the first 2 weeks of the trip, I'm like writing him letters every day. And by the end of the trip, I had, forgotten him completely. And like, relationships go so fast in high school. Those are important relationships, like you're learning all this stuff about yourself, but people are missing out on all that.
Yeah, and people, I mean, it's often talked about, maybe not necessarily in the context of schools, but how nuance and sarcasm, all these things are lost online and really easily misinterpreted. And that causes a lot of interpersonal conflict among adults, much, and even more so among students who are doing so much communication online. So like, even if people are, like excited to see each other or like being really genuine in their communication, it might not come off the way they wanted to. And there's no way to clear it up at this point. There's no,
oh my God. Yeah. You don't get to like see each other on Monday and be like, I didn't mean it that way. Oh yeah, it's rough. That's crazy. I'm glad that my baby is 9 months old and not any other age, literally any other age. I feel like I got lucky.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
well, how are you? Let me look at my pandemic questions that I ask everybody. Yes. So how are you locked down in Portland? Are you still on lockdown? Are you just like going out to parties, or how serious are you about this lockdown?
I'm pretty serious. I mean, the things that I do the most are canceled. So in-person
Right.
school and comedy shows. I wasn't a huge go hang out on a bar patio kind of person in the first place. So yeah, I mean, just given my work and my hobbies and that kind of things, when I in my free time, I like to do relatively solitary stuff. Get out of town anyway.
Yeah.
Be outdoors. But yeah, I've been at home. This is day 138 or something like that. 139.
Yeah.
So
Sounds about right. It's crazy how long it's been.
it's so long.
I mean, like, it is. I do talk about my baby too much, I realize, but when you have a baby, you really like see how time passes in a really weird way, because it's like she's turned into a person in the time that, and I'm just not sure. My mom today was like, she hasn't been sick a single day. I'm like, yeah, because she hasn't seen a single person. So
Oh. Is there anything being written about or being researched about young people's immune systems and how they
I don't
can?
know. I think that there was some talk about it definitely at the beginning. I've read a couple things about it, and um, I think the stuff that I've mainly read is like, don't worry about it. They'll get really sick once they do see people again. But it's just so strange because, like even 2 months ago, it was like, well, this will be over soonish. So it's not like gonna go on forever. So yeah, I just try to get her to eat dirt and stuff and just build up her immune system that way. Just feed her a little dirt every day.
Yeah, the neighbor's yard. You want
Right.
to get
Different.
a diversity.
Yeah, I think eating dirt is probably the most important thing we can do now for our immune systems.
Yeah,
I'm not
grass
a
is good
doctor.
too. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
grass,
Good.
totally.
That's what we're missing out on mostly.
Right. I think
Eating of the earth.
maybe we've found the problem, the solution to COVID-19 is just eat grass and dirt, and we should all be fine.
Right under our nose.
That's right, the whole time.
Fools.
So how have you been doing comedy? Have you been doing comedy?
I mean, yes, here and there. It's different. I have a weekly show, or I had a weekly show before this all began, and we streamed it for a while, for a couple months. Some shows were good, some were not. It didn't really feel the same.
Right.
One of the things is that I had 3 co-hosts, 3 co-producers, and we're all really good friends. And so a big part of that weekly show was meeting up for dinner, hanging out after the show. So without that kind of like friend aspect of it, it just felt different. And even comedians who are doing shows, their sets are a little bit different, right? There's like you have to address the elephant in the room. You kind of have to talk about it. And if you talk about this, you kind of have to talk about some like harsh stuff. There's no like ignoring COVID or Black Lives Matter or anything like that.
Right.
But a lot of comics have been writing more, been really active on like social media. Next week, through Helium Comedy Club, they're offering Camp Helium, which is programming for kids. From early education all the way up to high school.
Cool.
I'll be teaching the high school stand-up camp, virtual camp.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm really excited with young people, they're consuming so much news and media and content right now, and there's so much going on. I'm really excited to see what kind of perspectives and thoughts they have on it, what things they've been focusing on, what things have been more relevant for them. So that's really exciting for me.
Yeah. I wonder if like because at the beginning, earlier, I guess not the beginning, but before all the protests started, I feel like that I was part of a reading, like a literary reading and stuff, and I was doing more stuff like that, and then after the protest started, it felt a little like silly to do anything in a way. It's just like, well, is this really what I should be spending my time on, or like this is? So I imagine, yeah. How do you address these things in comedy or in art? It takes more. You have to think about it, and then it's like, I don't know. It's hard. It's scary too. And I also think people have maybe gotten sick of Zoom things.
Yes.
as I say, as I'm doing this show. But you know, like at first it was sort of novel, and now it's like this again.
Yeah, I mean, it like it stimulates the same part of your brain that like that you assign to like a work call. Now
Right.
it occupies the same space.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, that Zoom fatigue is real for sure.
Yeah. Like we're just staring at our computers and there's none of that. Like, let's just stand here in the corner and like say something stupid to each other for 5 minutes.
Yeah, there's no even like, oh, look at that thing that we both just saw. That
Right.
is
Well, it's crazy. And actually, I think that's another thing about kids. Like, I heard this thing about middle schoolers, you know, and middle schoolers, even when they're talking online, they have nothing to talk about because all they talk about is the like interactions they had. So, like, how are you going to gossip? There's like nothing to gossip about. We're like, oh, yeah. Look what this person posted on the internet. I guess you can gossip about that, but like none of the like fun stuff, like, you know, who was holding hands with who in the hall, etc.
yeah, it's just kind of like between COVID and Black Lives Matter, it kind of COVID has like taken away all the tiny interactions and the tiny like stimuli and all the tiny experiences we have every day. And so like we're not focused on that. And also Black Lives Matter is this huge thing that all of a sudden we're asking people to reckon with like the history of, you know,
Right.
racial relations of the country and all and across the globe. So it's this really interesting thing where like we're zoomed out all of a sudden and trying to like understand all these systems that we've been participating in, perpetuating, and like really trying to remove ourselves from the center of it. And at the same time, it is hard to find ourselves in the center of it if the same day is every single day. And when somebody asks you what's new, you're like, I ordered a new kind of cereal from Target.
Right.
They make peanut butter checks. Did you know they make peanut butter checks?
Yeah.
What?
This is a big day for me. I ordered it. It's coming tomorrow. So tomorrow's also going to be kind of a big day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I have found that like I get too much joy from ordering things online. Like it might be like this thing that I'm like it could be a problem. It's a good thing that I have a husband who's like maybe don't spend all of our money on stupid things. Like I don't even need new clothes. Why do I need new clothes?
Yeah. What?
No, I don't. I could just wear a swimsuit all day. No one would even know.
No.
Except for like one day a week when I do this show. But
You only need one shirt for that, right?
I know, nobody knows. And I bet you there's like some sort of filter I could put on so it would look like I was wearing different shirts or something.
Oh, I bet
I
there
don't know. I
is.
don't know if that's true. I don't understand technology. But,
Mm.
anyway, well, I guess that's one of my pandemic questions is have you been buying anything crazy online? Is there anything that you regret or don't regret? You know, something that you would not have bought online before.
Mm. Buying online, I'm not gonna, I'm pretty frugal in terms of buying stuff. I'm very good at like, do I need this, like almost to a point where probably don't enjoy life as much as I should sometimes. I've been making weird things.
Oh, what have you been making?
I if you follow me on Instagram or Twitter, you'll have seen I 3 years ago at a comedy show that was sponsored by Monster Energy Drink. They gave me a swag bag that had a large men's or a medium men's Monster Energy Drink t-shirt. And I was recently cleaning out my closet and I found it and I was like, this is like brand new, so I don't want to throw it away. What can I do with it? And then I looked over at my keyboard and it was one of those like chocolate peanut butter moments. And I had just dusted my keyboard and it's like, takes a lot of work. It's like 88 keys. You got to get in between the things.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, I need a dust cover for this keyboard. And I was looking at this Monster shirt. I'm like, this would be perfect. And I ended up cutting it up, sewing by hand, spent an afternoon, a dust cover for my keyboard from Monster
That
Yeah.
is amazing.
Yeah, real unhinged. Yeah.
Unhinged or genius.
Right? I didn't have to buy anything.
You didn't have to buy anything. You now have a Monster Energy branded keyboard cover, which is like something Monster Energy maybe might want to buy from you.
I could a sponsorship.
Yeah. They could be pivoting from energy drinks to just like a nice clean work environment. You know, like a
sanitation.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh man, right here. I understand the desire to like make things like, but I have been doing a lot of like stereotypical baking,
Mm.
and I've been making like biscuits. Like
Ooh.
I realized you can make biscuits. Like biscuits are like the best thing. Well, not the best thing, but like when you go out to eat, and there's like biscuits, it's like this is amazing.
Yeah.
Biscuits. You just put butter on them and jam, and then I learned you can make them.
Oh, are
You
yours
don't have to go.
pretty buttery?
Yeah, lots of butter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually go through so much butter. Sometimes I have to, the only people that we really see are my parents because they watch my kid 2 days a week. And sometimes I'll have to be like, Mom, can you order me some extra butter in your groceries? Because we just did a grocery order and I'm out of butter. I like have made so many butter based because I don't know if you know this, but butter actually improves everything.
Oh, I
If
believe
you,
it.
yeah, like spaghetti sauce, put butter in that. Highly
Oh,
recommend. Yeah,
okay.
it's
Okay.
good. I mean, it's butter, so yeah, it's good. It's
Yeah,
just
I
like
do
fat.
remember as a little kid, I was probably a toddler or something,
Mm.
opening the fridge and like the butter, and I like would
Like eat it.
just like not like a
Oh
more like
yeah,
a
just like a little.
yeah moderation.
Right.
Um,
Well, it makes
um,
sense. I mean, I will lick a butter knife. I'm not like above
oh,
that.
that's how
Man,
could you
butter
not?
sounds really good. I feel like maybe I should make something with butter after this.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
feeling that butter.
it's like so hot though. I don't know. Is it hot where in your house? Do you have air conditioning?
I don't have air conditioning, but I'm very fortunate in that the way my apartment is facing and how it is, it stays like 15 to 20 degrees cooler than outside, like at all
Oh,
times. Yeah, it's like 75 degrees in here.
that's actually a pretty nice temperature.
Yeah.
I don't know. My parents' house right now is like just too warm, but it's probably only 80 degrees in here, but it just feels like at least I'm not outside. It could be worse.
80 with no breeze feels warm, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah. And my hair, I got a haircut. Like the most dangerous thing I've done lately is get a haircut, which
Risque.
is, yeah, it was terrifying. We all wore masks and I, it was good. I mean, my hair was like really long and it's a little bit like bushy as you can tell. And so now when it's down, it's like wearing a hat. Like it seems like it should be cooler, but it's not.
Oh, but it's dark though. Yeah,
It's dark and just like, so I probably should have gone shorter, like all the way.
all the
I'm not
way.
sure my head is shaped. I'm not sure my head is shaped well for a full
No, I
buzz.
can't. I can never do that. I have several noticeable dents in my skull, and I think a lot about how that would look.
Yeah.
I don't think it would look good. It feels interesting. It wouldn't look good. I don't even
Yeah.
know how you would shave it, right? Because if there's like a little like crater that is like smaller than the razor, you know what I mean? Like, can
Oh
you
yeah.
even?
I don't know. I mean, but I'm sure like, yeah, I don't know how you do that. There's some girls, who look so cute with a shaved head.
Oh yeah.
But my theory about those girls is they just look so cute. So like they're the kind of girls who are like, here's a paper bag. You look beautiful. You're a beautiful princess. I'm not
Yeah.
one of those.
Well, they got nice skulls. You know, we
Just
don't
nice
know
clothes.
who's got nice
Yeah,
skulls.
it's true. You
Maybe.
have to really take the risk to find out.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't think that would. Maybe.
Maybe. I mean, maybe we should all do it. I don't know.
Lose at
Let's,
this point.
yeah, nothing like who's gonna see us, honestly. I don't know. Are you locked down with anybody?
Yeah,
Do you
I
live
live
by
with my
yourself?
partner, but he goes into the office every day. So
Okay. Oh, so that's nice. So you have something to talk about.
yeah, what's it like on the outside? What is the news of the outside?
What are people like today?
I'm like on the frontier, waiting for the mail to come from some guy on a
Right.
horse.
Once a month. Just please bring me something interesting.
Yeah, no,
Um,
I'm too glued to social media with everything going on, though. A lot of news on social
Me
media.
too. Have you found any way to like moderate your social media intake?
No, no,
Mm.
not at all. It was suggested that I don't look at it first thing in the morning. I haven't tried that.
Yeah.
Um,
It's good to take all the suggestions in first, let them like stew, and then decide.
Yeah, I mean, it's that kind of thing. I feel like a lot of quarantine has been folks giving out sound advice that they know they should follow, but not following it themselves.
Right. Yeah.
I've done that.
Like, oh yeah, I have tons of advice I could give you.
Given a lot of advice that I know is good, but would never
Not necessarily
set a
following
routine
myself.
for yourself.
Yeah. Get some exercise.
Get showered
Don't just
first.
eat M&Ms. Yeah. Yeah. People can get off their high horse right about now.
Yeah.
Well, is there anything good that you can say has come out of this? I don't know. Look, these questions I wrote early in the pandemic. Maybe we can find something good here. No, I mean, I guess there's some good things, I'm sure. But well, maybe. What do you think? Has there been anything good that has come out of the pandemic, the lockdown,
As a
personally?
whole, for me, it really depends on like what I focus on, I suppose, because like when I'm reading the news and I'm seeing like really tragic stuff or really like callous, like inhumane treatment of, you know, people in power, people who don't have power, I have a really hard time, I don't thinking about that. But if I like, surround myself with people who are trying to make changes and who are focused on, you know, hope and that kind of thing, that is really inspiring for me.
Yeah.
So I mean, like attending demonstrations and events around Black Lives Matter. While yes, admittedly, there is like a level of performative allyship that's out there. I have also seen a lot of people really stand up and start to speak out and try to educate themselves. And obviously, it's not something that's going to be fixed really fast. And a lot of people are going to still have a million blind spots, and evil people are still in power. But it is, I think, seeing people shift their focus has been good. People have kind of been forced to shift their focus away from themselves and away from these systems that we've been complacent with being a part of. And now we're seeing the need for change. Obviously, we're in a place where it's hard to enact change when like people who have the authority and the power to do that aren't on the same level. But yeah, I think while the United States is a pretty like individualistic kind of culture, I think people are starting to see the value of having a more collectivistic kind of attitude about your community and your place in it. So I think that shift is good. Hopefully we can kind of keep it going and kind of sustain it. I know for a lot of folks that'll be kind of hard because it requires rethinking a lot of things.
Right. Changing our entire culture, kind of. But so much just changed. I mean, I think that's what's so interesting is like our lives just dramatically changed. And I feel like that means, oh, there's a baby. That means that there is the possibility in a way, like if we could change within a month, like all of our lives, the way we did everything, then maybe we can actually. My mom is trying to get the baby to crawl over here, but she doesn't like to be told what to do. But maybe there is this possibility. I feel like there is this possibility that these things that created our country, which are just so terrible, we can actually face them. And maybe, I mean,
yeah, and I mean it's just thinking about the possibilities is huge, and not forgetting about it, and just we're seeing a lot of hello.
Sorry, it got really serious, so I thought we should just bring in the baby. Can you say hi, Nona?
Hi.
That's Katie. Say hi. All she wants is to see people on a screen, and then when she does, she's like, "What is this?"
Yeah.
Nona. I guess maybe you're a little shy because you're not wearing a shirt right now.
Modesty culture.
We don't have that in our family. Yeah, sorry I interrupted you with this.
Oh, no worries.
Tiny person, but yeah, maybe we are seeing this change. Was that what you were? Sorry, what were you saying?
Yeah, something along those lines. I got But yeah, I mean, just people. I mean, so many people need to be forced to consider what it's like for other people, and people are being forced to do that now. So, like, while it is unfortunate that people are being abducted off the streets, it is forcing a lot of people to think about how ICE operates. and it would be nice if people could just like read about it and understand it and have empathy, but a lot of people can't. Just aren't socialized to think that way or to consume things that way, media that way. So, like a lot of people are kind of forced to be faced with, kind of forced cases where they have to empathize with other people for once in their lives.
Yeah, I think that's true. I hadn't thought about that, but I think like sometimes I'm like, how are people just finding out about this? Like, where were you? Did you not have, like, how is it that you didn't realize that our country was based on like violence and, kidnapping, rape, all these things? It's crazy to me that people didn't know about it. But I think you're right. Like, maybe for a lot of people, they have to almost experience it, or like,
or fear it at least. Yeah.
Fear it. Maybe like, there's just so many, it's hard to figure out what motivates people, but it does seem like there's a lot of people right now who are in a much more precarious situation than they've ever been in.
Yeah. I mean, COVID too. I mean, everything that's going on right now is making people learn what it's like for other folks. I mean, even, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's like everything has been just exposed.
Yeah.
Even the school thing is so interesting because it's like, suddenly we have to face the fact that, being a working parent is really difficult in this, and that there's such inequity, and we can't just expect people to do the right thing. We have to have systems that work for everybody, or else it's just going to completely fall apart. I'm curious. I really like, what's going to happen? Like, if you have a 5-year-old and you are supposed to go work at Safeway, but you're also supposed to be teaching, your kid.
It's just not, yeah.
How does that work? I don't even know. I mean, I don't know how I do my job with a baby, but at least I have support and I can work from home.
Yeah, and it's not the kind of thing where like one person has to take one for the team. Like literally everybody suffers in that situation.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, it's not good for anybody. Who is it good for? It's not good for Safeway. It's not good for, our culture. There's my mom in the background. It's okay. Anyway, things are hard now, but at least it's summer.
Yeah.
Have you gone outside at all?
I have. I've gone outside. I've gone to the Deschutes River a couple times. I got ice cream the other day. I went and got ice cream. I left the house just to get ice cream and come back.
Where'd you get ice cream?
Baskin Robbins.
Oh my gosh, I love a Baskin Robbins mint chocolate chip. I could go for that right now. What flavor did you get?
I got chocolate peanut butter.
My grandma's favorite thing, chocolate peanut butter ice cream at Baskin Robbins. You can bring me the baby. We're almost done. Sorry. Well, this has been just a lovely conversation. Yeah. No, I'm glad I got to talk to you because I also like to talk to new people, even though I have talked to you before, I'm pretty sure, but face to face.
Yeah, it's been. Do you remember the first time we talked? What that was about?
Was it about tiny hands?
Yeah, it was about the pack.
I think actually you had a very kind of famous. We haven't even talked about it, but that was pretty big. That went pretty viral, didn't it?
They put a lot of work into the commercial that they aired on TV, and that got a ton of press. And then we did pretty well, and they actually redirected their efforts. Now they're the same folks who do Pizza to the Polls.
Cool.
So there's some activists who are big on voter registration, that kind of thing. So now they'll send pizza to folks waiting hours and hours in line at the polling place. If you want to donate to pizza polls, that's always good stuff.
That's awesome. I just want you to know that what's happening right now is my parents are both staring at me, and my baby is trying to get the computer. Here.
Hello.
Hey, it's fun over here. Well, can you tell us before we go where people can find your comedy? We know where they can learn language arts, Spanish language arts from you, but they would have to be a high school student at Roosevelt High School for that. So if they're interested in checking out your comedy or maybe your Monster Energy keyboard covers.
Yeah. So on social media, Instagram, Twitter, you can find me at Katie Nguyen, KTNUGGIN. You can check out that keyboard dust cover. Spent a lot of time on that. Please check it out.
Maybe you can an Etsy store.
Yeah. One good thing about the pandemic. And I have a website, katie-nguyen.com. And I'm also the teacher of stand-up at Helium Portland. We're thinking maybe classes will start back up again in the fall. We don't know at this point, but if you're ever interested in trying out a comedy class, check it out.
That's awesome. And if you're a high schooler, this comedy camp is starting?
Yes, next week, Camp Helium. So if you know any young people, I'm going to teach the teenager stand-up, but there's also programming for middle schoolers and elementary schoolers as well, improv games, that kind of thing. Check out Helium Comedy Club. Yeah, they have programming for all ages. It's starting next week. I think it's an hour a day, Monday through Friday. So if anybody's interested in that, if you know any young people who are funny and like to make people laugh, you should check it out.
This one.
Yeah.
Are you ready to do stand-up, Nona? Not hit me in the boobs. Well, thank you so much. It was great to talk to you, and I hope you stay safe. And for everyone else, our show is streamed on. She wants something that I'm not going to give her live on Facebook. Our show is streamed on Facebook and YouTube. You can follow the Oregonian there to make sure that you see every episode. It's also available as a podcast, and you can find that at OregonLive.com/podcast or wherever you listen to podcasts. I'm Lizzy Acker. Wash your hands. Wear a mask. Science has proven it, and stay safe. Thank you.